when I like what you said, Sam, when you're talking about how the text messaging, the phone calls, you know, if we're struggling with something, you know, and like Tim, you reach out, we talk, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or if Sam, if you need something, we'll talk about it. Right. And that's so important in the process of dealing with, you know, failure, loss, what have you. And it's a unique position that we can all have that not a lot of people have that, or maybe have that at certain levels. Right. So it's kind of like going back to what you're talking about with hope. What is that? What is hope to people? Well, you know, I could give you my explanation of it, or maybe what I think that it should be, and it maybe varies from you guys, or maybe we're all on the same page within it. But when we're seeing like these numbers, when we're talking about suicides and other things like that, it's such a sad thing to really think about, because it's like, one, there's always going to be one-offs, always. But and it's like, what were the numbers? We said it was like up 30% or something for the last 20 years. I'm sure this whole, pandemic that dealt with obviously boosted a lot of those numbers because of different things. But now it's like, I was trying to find this last year, right? And it was still, the numbers are kind of high, you know? And it's like, you're not going to save everybody. But I feel like as a country, or as just humans in general, like we need to be a little bit more open with the fact that not everyone lives the same lives that we do, you know, and even in that, to still people struggle. So it's having that open form of communication, whether it is, if you're going to punt it out there to the internet, you know, there are some good people out there, you know, and just like there are some really shitty people who handle things and thinking everything's super negative, you know. So it's like, you know, finding those situations like Tim, you're describing with the beach. Yeah. Having those outlets, you know, and maybe the beach isn't for everybody. Right. You know, I would tend to lean that that's my ultimate reset, you know, because when you're out there, all those things you listed, you kind of check out. The things that you're thinking about are important. Why? Because like you're trying to catch the next wave, you're trying to stay focused, you're trying to be able to stand up, pick your ride, see, you know, kind of envision what you're doing as you're doing it. And those situations take you away. So finding that, I would say, to help bolster the feeling of hope is having those things to fall back on, whether that's, you know, reading a book, whether that's writing, whether drawing pictures, getting outside in nature, you know, or just giving yourself 5 minutes every morning to like take a deep breath and tell yourself that this is what you're going to do today, you know. And I'm guilty of not doing a lot of those things when I should, because life is a lot sometimes, and, you know, but you have to really fall back on those things. Now, that could be something as simple as going outside and walking around for 5 minutes, or it's waking up in the morning and praying, you know. And I'm a terrible example of that, because I feel like I say a lot of things that I wish that I could follow through on.
No, and that's same, bro.
And that's one of them. That's one of them, because I honestly find myself in the situation like you're talking about most of the times, that when I am praying, I'm angry because something either bad happened, or, you know, maybe something didn't go the way that I thought it was going to, and puts extra pressure in certain situations. And it's like, why is my relationship with, you know, God, sometimes through prayer, at least a lot of the time, seems to be an aggressive one?
I wonder if the reason for that is because it's not done enough.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Because when you're communicating and it's through anger, that means that there's a lack of communication. You know, it's like, well, God, why are you doing it? I mean, where have you been, bro? Like, you're just coming at me now? You know, I've been here.
Yeah. If there's like a, like, I always kind of envision it as like an old school, like, you know, when you'd call and then you have, I forget the name of the person, but they're plugging you into the
operator?
The operator, right? So if there's an operator system in heaven, they're just like, dude, he's back again and he's angry. He's so angry. Something didn't work out his way. Yeah. He's pissed. Here you go.
Yeah, Jordan, please hold.
Yeah. I feel like I get a lot of please holds, but then I also feel like that's for a reason too. Yeah. You know, and to go into, and you said it exactly. It's because it's not enough. Yeah. The open community. And I'm not saying that everyone has to be religious. I just mean that when you're choosing to go down that route of prayer, and it's always in reflection of something that didn't go your way. It's not like, where were you on the days of like, I had a fantastic day. Thank you so much for my life, my family, my work, my everything.
Yes.
I miss a lot of those days.
Yes.
I miss a lot of them. And I feel like, Actually, just talking this out loud, I really need to focus on that a little bit more. I think
Same.
to help this balance, you know,
dude. It's with because it's. I think we've seen this through the journal that we all have.
Oh yeah.
Gratitude. You know,
man,
gratitude is the base, bro. It's the base of everything. So when we start with gratitude, then we have, that base is solidified. Yeah. And then we can just, live our lives. And yeah, of course, we're going to have the occasional, God, or we look at people and we have these outbreaks, but we still have that base of gratitude. And I think we all do. We generally do, because the way that we communicate, we'd be going crazy if we didn't. And I think, I think,
how's your day?
Bro, I think hope starts from there,
Oh, that's a good point. That's
right?
Good
so
point.
when you can come to us and we can come to each other and say, hey, this is really bothering me and I don't know what to do. I feel like the ability to do that started from gratitude. Otherwise we would just sit in ourselves and be like, oh my God. And we may be one of those statistics, one of these crazy statistics, bro. So,
yeah. You bring a really good point. I remember texting you guys this past week, and I'm trying to get emotional now, but I remember, being so bummed and so hurt and just like, yo, what is going on? But I, in my own life and in my own faith, and this is, again, when I say this, this is not to tell people, hey, you need to become a Christian or a believer, whatever you want to call it. That's not for everybody, and that's fine. I'm never going to force some people, but if you want to talk about it, I'm here. It's cool. But I know for my own life, how much it's worked, like 100%. But I remember I was in my car and I pulled up to my house and I just, put it in park and just sat there for a second. And I do these little Bible studies every morning off my phone, all that stuff. And it's on like the Bible app or whatever. They're really cool. They're like 5 minutes. I love it. It's just like, boom, get your day started the right way and get out of here. But Jordan, you brought it up too. It's like I reflected and I thought about every time that I really dig down deep in my faith, it's because something bad is happening. And I've been trying to do better in my faith and change my thought process. And one of those things I read, it's about rejoicing in the good, but being able to rejoice in the bad. Now that is a bitch. I'm going to tell you that firsthand. That is very hard. I remember sitting there in my car and I kind of started crying and broke down a little bit. And I just said this on my own prayer to myself. And I was just like, look, dude, it's in your hands. There's nothing I can do about this, but I choose to give thanks. I'm still going to rejoice because you're going to make a way and something good is going to come from this. I know it. But this is so hard. This is so difficult. How do I keep hope alive? How do I keep hope with my loved ones who are impacted by this? How do we navigate this? How do we, how do we sleep tonight? How do we, for me, when I go through hard times, I freaking don't eat.
Yep.
I get real skinny, but I don't know, for me, man, to be real with people on here, it brings a peace that does surpass all understanding that you can't explain. You're just like, I don't know.
Right.
I have no clue.